I'm going to get the joke out of the way and then I'll get to the video. So, Luigi Mangione, where the hell is Mario? Fighting Bowser, probably. Okay, joke's out of the way. Ignore my bed hair. I'm sitting up in bed. I've been awake about 20 minutes, maybe. No, 45 minutes. Anyway, I don't condone what Luigi Mangione did, and yet, I can understand why he did it. Someone with chronic pain that's being unaddressed, that's he's been failed by the system, and considering how America has the most prohibitively expensive healthcare and yet the worst healthcare outcomes, I can see why someone would snap. Doesn't mean I agree with it, and I'm not thrilled that people are celebrating that someone was murdered, because murder is not an answer to that kind of a problem. Because if someone's dead, they can't learn. But it's a symptom. Because Luigi Mangione, he had his own medical issues that just, they were not being adequately handled. I don't know if it's because he couldn't afford medication or what. He had like IBS and back issues, spine issues, and it's a mess. And just healthcare in America is terrible. It's so expensive, and yet there's the worst outcomes. And insurance companies are kind of murdering people by omission, neglect, by refusing to cover things. Medical care should be in the hands of doctors who are intimately involved in the cases of their patients, because doctors know what patients need. It should never go into the hands of someone with very little to no medical knowledge and have them go, well, it's experimental, so no, let's not allow it. I mean, there was that thing where Blue Cross was going to try to, control how much anesthesia someone could have in surgery, as if every surgery is going to go according to plan. My mom was going to get a hysterectomy because she had a fibroid. It was benign. But because of all the adhesions for previous surgeries, what would have been maybe a 60-minute or thing turned into a 3-hour ordeal, because they had to dig through all those adhesions just to get to her uterus, and then her blood pressure was going down, so they had to just take the fallopian tube because the uterus was fine. It was just on one ovary. So they took that fallopian tube and ovary out, and they just left the rest, and they put all her organs back inside, her intestines, because they got to kind of pull them out, and close her up and send her off. And she healed. She's fine. But if someone has an unusual body layout, or if they have previous surgeries, scarring, adhesions, a surprise anatomical something going on that's going to make a surgery take longer. Can you imagine cutting off someone's anesthesia, or gouging them in the wallet because, oh, heaven forbid their surgery go 2 minutes longer? Now they have $1 million bill that they have to pay out of pocket. Thank God that got walked back. But Luigi Mangione is a symptom of this wider problem of inadequate healthcare in America. Unless you are super rich, your care is likely to be subpar. And I mean, if it solved your problem, great. But there are so many people that are on the street because they can't afford to pay for medicine and housing. So, Luigi Mangione is just a sign of what's happening and how pain can change people and how pain can just make people hurtful. No, I'm not saying everyone in chronic pain is going to go out and commit murder. Obviously not, because there's so many people in chronic pain who have not. But I worry that he might incentivize others to do the same thing. And that's not good. Healthcare needs to go back into the hands of the doctors, not some insurance agent sitting at a desk who gets to decide if someone lives and dies by denying them care, because that's basically what it is. You know, my dad has advanced Parkinson's. He had to switch off a medication that was working because the insurance started to decide, oh, hey, we're not going to cover it anymore. And so he's on a medication that it works but not as well. So, like, it's not the levodopa, it's one that helps it work. It used to be something else, but he had to switch. So, it does the same thing but not as well. So, like, the medication doesn't help. So, at least he has a DBS, so his hands do not shake constantly, but his legs do. And he had pretty good tremor control before, but now, you know. And I have seen firsthand, well, secondhand is probably better, how pain can change a person, because in taking care of my dad, my mom's back started to go out. And thank God we got him on Medicaid when we did, because she was getting to a point to where it was just hurting all the time, no matter what kind of Tylenol or ibuprofen she took, didn't matter. Her personality changed. She would get so mean and so angry and just not tolerate anything. Anything going slightly wrong, she would blow up in rage and anger, and just she would throw things and slam things, and like, she was acting the way I was when my depression was the worst that it was. And I mean, I'm not cured of it either. Just saying, I'm on medication now. But I was in a lot of mental pain and I was acting out. She was in physical pain and acting out. Like, pain will change your brain chemistry. It will change the wiring in your brain. It can cause trauma. Since we've got help with my dad and my mom has had time to rest her back because she was having to wrench it every single day, muscling him in and out of bed onto a bedside commode so he could poop. And so she could change the bed because it would be a mess. But day after day after day after day, it was destroying her. But now that we have help and someone else to do that, except maybe once or twice a week, but her back is doing better. It's not perfectly without pain, but she's not in just unbelievable amounts of pain every single day. Her demeanor is so much better. I think she has trigeminal neuralgia in her jaw, which that is a horrible thing to have, because my dad elbowed her in the face, by accident, but I'm just so pissed at him because, he almost knocked her down, and just like, he has done nothing but cause this family misery. And part of it is inadequate health care. So, like, families are being destroyed by inadequate health care. Now, a CEO has been murdered because of inadequate health care. Luigi Mangione is still in pain because of inadequate health care. And it's just going to continue. Now, I'm not saying everyone is going to go out and murder because they're in pain. I've said that. I said that, but I'm going to repeat it. But how can we know that what Luigi did will not incentivize others to go out and go after the healthcare CEOs? And they might start taking it out on doctors. I mean, there's no way to know. But it's scary. And it is a symptom of the wider problem of American healthcare being garbage.